No! No! Yes, yes! Nope.
Well, I don't know about you viewers, but to me, Christmas just wouldn't be Christmas without Christmas.
Take two.
Without sitting back and watching a film set during this frosty festive season. And nitpicking the crap out of it. But the question is, what should I review? Animation always feels more enjoyable around wintertime. Something with a few well-known British character actors in. And preferably, a film I saw when I was a child. I know, the title of this video is the Snow Queen 1995 Review. So that narrows down my options a bit. How life flies by. It was just over a year ago that the gigantically popular, and more importantly, critically acclaimed Frozen crushed the world like a ton of nutcrackers. The movie was partly based on the fairy tale The Snow Queen, written by Danish author Hans Christian Andersen. God damn it, Disney, can't you do anything original? Published in 1844, the adaptation of the story I saw long ago was finished in 1995, despite going into production in 1991. And though the saying goes, let time work on your projects, longevity in movie productions rarely equals excellence. The voices you may recognise belong to the Helen Mirren, Hugh Laurie in between his Blackadder and House MD careers, David Jason substituting a yellow shirt for his yellow van, and that bitch Dolores Umbridge. There was one other well-known actor involved, but I shall keep that a secret for now. The original book revolves around a girl named Gerda.
Gerda? That's her name, Gerda. She holds this building up during the day.
As she travels through the icy hills of Denmark to find Kay, who was kidnapped by the title character and cannot leave her lair until he spells the word eternity. How does that scenario resemble Frozen? Well, 4 of the main characters are Anna, Kristoff, Hans, and Sven. Hans, Kristoff, Anna, Sven.
Start the fucking review, Jeffrey!
The film begins with a granny reading out a limited edition autobiography of the Snow Queen, with a foreword from the Swedish chef.
How do you do that, Tom?
Do what?
Put all those pieces of sky together so quickly.
Just talent and intelligence, I suppose. I should probably grow up to be a genius.
In this adaptation, the 2 children are brother and sister, which, if you are a fan of the book, might seem peculiar considering the young neighbours were in love with each other.
When we've finished, we'll play drafts.
Sure. Drafts.
Oh.
Oh, the humanity!
It's all right, Polly. I've saved him.
Oh, thank you.
Many animators died to bring that pivotal sequence to life.
Every night the same. Get to a really interesting bit and slam. Finish. No more story till tomorrow night.
This is Peeps, who is just like the bird in Thumbelina. He wears a hat and is bloody annoying. Meanwhile, over the hills and far away, inside a palace made of ice, 3 trolls, Grumpy, Ophi, and Problem, E, are building a flying machine.
If we don't finish this flying machine soon, we're
Yeah. Never face the camera again.
Good evening, trolls. I trust the machine is finished.
Yes, smash it with a hammer. That'll get the job done.
Once my mirror is in position, All the sunshine will be reflected away from the world. It will get cold. Very, very cold. And then it will be mine.
Thanks for sharing your evil plan with yourself.
You fools!
Did you even read the do's and do nots of living in an ice palace?
I would remind you that I do not like to be kept waiting.
Then why did you not just give them your instructions during the video call?
Stop!
Hitting that block of ice causes the bottom of the machine to change colour slightly. Cool.
When you get just above the mirror, fasten the hook into the ring at the top.
Yes, I know, Eric.
You will secure that
Hook?
quite firmly, won't you?
Nope.
Again, how the flip is that thing keeping airborne?
Steady!
And how the feck did that not smash the glass?
Down you go, Beggy, and fix it in position.
Me?
And why the fuck are you suddenly scared of heights when you were happily abseiling 2 minutes ago? Even Dig and Doug would call you dipshits incompetent.
Smashy,
The fragments of mirror descend upon the village. 2 shards of glass somehow insert themselves into Tom's eye and heart, which instead of blinding him, turn him evil. And then the boy killed him.
Oh, damn. Never mind.
I think I'm getting better, Tom. I've done this whole corner while you've been out and...
Corner pieces are the easiest, Irma.
Why are you being so horrible?
Get off me! Why don't you go to bed?
Meh, I still like him better than before. Alone in the living room, Tom tries out his new skill. Being able to flip puzzles vertically between shots. However, this is no match for the ice-cold mistress's bat minions, as they have the ability to change from black to grey to brown to green. For the plot to continue, the bats must find every single piece of that massive mirror, which scattered over hundreds of miles, and have undoubtedly been covered up by snow. This would be about as tricky as a fan of Bridget Jones's Diary recognising Renee Zellweger. So just 24 years later, the shatter pile is complete. Almost.
Surely my little dears have not been careless in their work.
20 bats crossbred with chameleons managed to find 1,000 fragments of glass, and only 2 are unaccounted for. I know you are supposed to be the devil in a freezer, but save your minion strangulations for the trolls.
They are inside the boy. I shall have to fetch them myself.
But not until tomorrow. Because it surely would be more difficult to abduct him while he was asleep.
I'm going to hitch onto something really fast.
I wonder who this could be.
Come on! You watch.
Oh, my back.
I don't think I like this very much.
Could you try a little less restraint? Better. The demon deer take flight, and the backseat Kritika gets cut off.
Double kill.
Oh, is that who it was?
I can't believe it. I just don't believe it.
Look at my leg. Oh, dislocated probably. I could have a permanent limp. You should be more careful throwing yourself out of the sky like that.
All I can say is that I really am very sorry.
Actually, all you should be saying is, "This bird is talking!" Besides having Peeps as a main character, another thing we have to look forward to is that thanks to top-notch editing, the voices often overlap.
Tom, and I must go and find
Go
him.
and fight. You must be mad. She lives at the North Pole and...
If the Snow Queen lives at the North Pole, how the frozen hell did the mirror scatter all the way to Denmark?
Goodbye. Thank you for your help.
It's all my fault. She'll freeze to death up there. She won't stand a chance.
Just shut up and follow her, George.
I'll come with you. I'll come with you.
I heard you the first time.
As soon as they arrive at the palace, Tom notices the broken mirror and offers to repair it. Which is jolly good luck for the Snow Queen, as she didn't know he was a prodigy of puzzles.
I had no idea the North Pole was so far away.
Yes, Alaska is rather a long way from England.
Look, a light. Must be a house.
I'm sure Grandma wouldn't like me to go bothering people without being invited.
My parents, on the other hand, wouldn't give a damn, hence why they are never mentioned. A door in the hedge opens up, revealing a cottage with a lovely garden, all engulfed in daylight.
Hello, my dear.
I wondered if you could possibly let me have a bed for the night.
No trouble at all, my dear.
Ellie should really know better. Hansel and Gretel was published 32 years before the Snow Queen. And is it so tricky to design an original scary-looking old woman, take off the daffodil, and Snow White much?
Good night.
Good night, my dear.
After Ellie goes to sleep, Peeps overhears the old bat talking about how she has been working on an elixir of life. Well, everyone needs a hobby in their retirement.
All it needs is the heart of a little girl.
30 minutes into the film, it decides to be a musical. So here's number 1 of 5.
This recipe will carry me to evils I once knew.
I am not going to critique these songs, as I am an analysiser of film and characters, not of soundtrack.
Designed to send us back in time of need.
Peeps's calls for help wake up Ellie, unlike the twice as loud musical number and mad cackling. Oh, come on, Peeps, there's nothing securing that beaker down. Just spread your wings.
I like to do a little scientific dabbling down here.
This is the part where you run away, Ellie. Oh my god, you stupid! So the motives of the old bat are now fame and fortune, whereas in the song, it was so she could get her youthful looks back.
He lied to us through song. I hate when people do that.
Garfield's colourful cousin is told off for nearly 2 minutes, giving Peeps a ridiculous amount of time to steal the key and free Ellie. Sure, she was going to cut out your heart, but she did feed you and let you sleep all night in her bed. So, who's the real villain? Oh, right, the Snow Queen.
What do you think, Eric?
I told you I don't know. I don't know anything about him.
Why are they still alive? The mirror breaking was more or less their fault. Also, they are never seen doing anything around the palace, and Frostyface even threatened to have her bats eat them if the mission failed.
I'll go and ask him.
Hey, no, we're not allowed down this.
4 years of production really gave them time to iron out any animation errors. Once the trolls eventually end their poorly executed pratfalling, Tom shouts at them, then the Queen shouts at them.
Why are you trolls disturbing the boy? He has important work to do.
Trolls will be trolls.
Fuck you! You pieces of shit!
Ellie and Peeps go to investigate the dispenser of some very shrill singing. They had better go fetch the pensioner then. She was voiced by Miss Marple.
What's all this here, then?
They meet two humanised crows, not voiced by black people, or singing about elephants.
What's he look like, dear? He's about this tall, and he looks a bit like me.
So a boy who apparently matches that idiotically vague description, which we will shortly learn is utter bollocks, just got engaged to the princess of the castle these two freaks work for.
Ah, good morning.
As a stranger can't just go and speak to royalty, and as this film loves padding itself, the two crows dress her up like a maid and give a quick course through song.
You're highly recommended when you're recommended by me. You're highly recommended, so good you better be.
I am so making this the theme tune of my show. I don't know why I said that, because I'm not.
Enough. Have confidence and pride, and you'll see before you're through.
Ellie is then left to take the lunch along, somehow knowing where the dining room is inside the castle.
Lunch already? Excuse me, Your Highness. Would you like... Hello!
OMG, what a surprise. Tom must be somewhere else. Your brother has blonde hair, Ellie. Your brother.
I thought you were Tom, and you weren't.
This overreaction really makes me laugh, as it is such a contrast to the previous scene. Meanwhile, Pop, Crackle and Snap are guarding Tom.
See that flash of light? That's the bit of mirror in his eyes.
And there's another bit, look, in his chest.
These characters are the equivalent of pantomime comic relief, continuously keeping the audience up to date on the plot. Fun for children, frustrating for adults.
Be quiet!
How?
The sooner you finish the mirror, the sooner she'll have to kill you to get the last two pieces.
Cool story, bro. Wanting to get rid of the drama queef ASAP, Norman Price and Lisa Simpson provide her with...
A royal runaround.
I'll steal it!
Slow down there, children. You have only just got engaged. Save holding hands for the honeymoon.
Oh, I can turn my back on the deep sea, it don't mean much to me. But I just can't close the door on the open road.
As with the others, this song is alright, but I preferred it being sung by Goofy, or even the cast of Wind in the Willows. Time for my mystery guest.
This is boring, boring, boring.
Rick Mail.
Rick fucking Mail. Oh, well, who gives a fuck about him? The cunt's dead anyway.
In this thing, he voices a humanized rat who goes by the name Robber King. His performance is as over-the-top as ever, which in a better film that didn't take 4 years to finish would have been projected through the animation more.
There's a rather fancy-looking vehicle on the road, sir.
If I had transport, I could really branch out.
I don't like this very much.
I swear I did not add that line.
Get her!
I know I said I only wanted the vehicle, but I might as well sell her to that old hag down the road. Then the chief's spoiled daughter waddles up.
She came with the most beautiful vehicle, my dear. Just what Daddy needs for his business.
I see.
Angelina Ballerina really let herself go after her series ended.
I'd like a servant.
You may do exactly what you like with her.
Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Nuts, know what I mean?
They said that when I'd finished the mirror, you were going to kill me.
My dear, you must pay no attention to these absurd stories. My trolls are quite brainless.
It's like I should just kill or at least maim them. But then who will keep spoiling my schemes? A mere peck from Frosty Face gives Tom extreme brain freeze, and according to the trolls, will eventually kill him. On the plus side, they gave Rick Mail a musical number.
Raise your glasses to the sky. Sing and dance till sunrise.
It is no cover of Downtown, but it did allow Rick to provide his own eulogy.
When I'm dead, let it be said, he was really rotten.
I was just flying along and I crashed into a tree and knocked myself out.
Since Peeps wasn't annoying enough, we meet Dimly, whose shtick is he is nervous and clumsy. So yes, a reindeer version of Peeps. Outside, the chief is still warbling. And why in the name of Greek buggery does this man-rat have coins up his nose?
So don't you mess with me. Where's my daughter?
I don't know. I'm sorry, sir.
Oh shit, I think the Robber King is bipolar. Just as Ellie is about to escape, Filch's favourite psychopath bursts in.
I will have order!
The heroes bravely run away, but don't sabotage the vehicle, meaning the Robber King will be able to chase after them. We never see him again. Only 8 minutes of screen time for Rick's voice, but it was still more enjoyable than the entire hour and a half of drop-dead Fred. Dimly says that his flying instructor, Frida, knows where the Snow Queen lives, and so takes them to... the Caribbean?
When you're studying with the lady from Lapland,
You start you off with your very own flight plan.
Trust in me.
Frankly, I would be a little wary of going to this flying school. It would be like having a driving instructor who can't actually drive. We do not see the scene where Frida is asked to lead them to the palace, but from what we are shown, she seems quite content with the concept of facing certain doom.
Will it be safe?
Safe? Safe? You're going to the Snow Queen's palace? Of course it won't be safe.
Wouldn't it be better if you took somebody who flies better than me?
Don't talk such nonsense, Dimly. You'll be perfectly all right.
What's the worst that could happen?
It would be so awful if one of you fell off.
4 years of production.
You're doing very well.
I suppose you realise we're hanging in the jaws of death here.
Not sure if you've noticed this, Peeps, but you can fly. If Dimly does start to plummet, you're the only one who will survive.
Hurrah!
Later, Tom has almost completed the mirror.
Now you stay and wait for us out here, Dimly. We won't be long.
Supposing somebody comes.
Don't be silly. Nobody will come.
This character is amazingly optimistic in a frank and honest way. I suppose it was their compromise for having two pessimists.
Halt! Who goes here?
I'd be so grateful if you could take me to him. I've been so worried.
Well,
And we've come such a long way.
Say, what are you doing tonight? I'm 13. God damn it.
I must finish. I must finish.
Ellie is confused as to why Tom is not pleased to see her. But of course, Mother Hubbard knows everything.
Some of that evil mirror is inside him. We must dissolve it away or he'll die.
Don't worry, I brought along my mirror-dissolving medicine kit. Really?
She's going to be so upset when he dies.
We must help her then.
How?
Toilet paper hats are more useful than you trolls.
What shall I do? Pour it over him?
Certainly not. He must drink it. All of it, or it won't work.
If Frida only had a $5 for every time she's removed an evil piece of glass from someone's eye and heart. Oh, herbal remedies. Is there anything you can't cure?
Quick, Tom! Drink this!
Where have you been, Snow Queen? Pushing out a Yule log? When she is scared, Ellie has the power to shrink. Show Dimly's reaction even though he's outside the palace and therefore can't see what's going on. Everyone is frozen except Ellie, despite being the one Frosty Face is angry at the most. Instead of the thick icicles on the floor impaling the Snow Queen, they just snap off and fly into the air. The potion lands on the mirror, creating a tornado of ice which freezes anything in its path. It chases after Frostyface and finally catches up to her. So with the mirror now destroyed, I think they never show it, Tom is back to normal and the others are no longer entrapped in ice.
This is Frida. She saved you. She made a spell that dissolved the mirror and destroyed the Snow Queen and...
The Snow Queen is not destroyed, Ellie. Eventually she will be back.
Jesus Christ, Frida! Give the child a brief moment of joy that her quest might have amounted to more than simply rescuing her jackass brother.
Is this him?
Brilliant lip-syncing.
Is there any possibility of your giving us a lift out of here on your very fine reindeer?
You Muppets could have escaped any time, considering you were the only security measures at the palace.
Off you go, off you go.
We're home! Look!
4 years in the making!
Are you all right?
Yes,
of
we're
course.
fine.
Are you sure? You're not just saying that so as not to upset me?
I get it, movie. The reindeer is an anxiety-ridden compulsive apologizer. Stop stabbing it in.
Some of us are far from fine. Some of us are covered in bruises.
That's what you get for inserting yourself as a main character, peeps.
Goodbye, then.
But dimly managed to crash into a mountain, leaving Frida and the trolls to inevitably freeze to death, after first resorting to cannibalism.
Oh God, there's so much to choose from, isn't there?
The real ending is, we don't know if the others are rescued, as it just shows the Snow Queen, who is starting to thaw. And yes, this film does have a sequel, though I have yet to see it, so don't expect a review of it anytime soon. My show is not called What the Bullshit for nothing. Wait. So that was the 1995 British adaptation of The Snow Queen. It's poorly put together, forgettable, and suitable only for children. The animation mixes between shoddy and reasonable, and this film has so many moments where characters moved slowly when they should have been leaping into action. If you trimmed down the shots that go on far too long, and the sporadic songs, then this movie would surely be half the length. The story takes place over 3 days, so for more emotional depth, they could have shown how the grandmother was coping with Tom and Ellie being missing, presumed kidnapped. We don't even see her at the end of the film either. Peeps never does anything besides moan, and I find it hard to believe that the Snow Queen, a heartless witch who plans to begin a new ice age, wouldn't rage against the trolls for causing the mirror to smash, telling Tom she plans to kill him, and for doing jack shit around the palace, besides bickering and pointing out what we already know. And I can't be the sole person to think this, since neither of those characters were added to the DVD cover. Of course, the conclusion I must decide upon is whether it is better than Frozen. Well, obviously, the winner is the Snow Queen, because its plot is closer to the original book, and that is all that matters.
Wait, what?
Only joking. The Snow Queen wins because it had Rick Mayall in it. Have a merry mass turkey eating and present receiving day, everybody. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. And since we've no place to go, let it go, let it go, let it go.